Okay. Hi. Zoom is ready and set up. I'm just sending it to stream to Facebook as well so everybody can see no matter where they are. In Zoom, it looks like it's just me and two other people. Happy to see you guys here. And I think, okay, good. Facebook looks like it's working. Perfect. So I'm on a couple minutes early today because I wanted to make sure that I got the Facebook streaming on time and the Zoom link working on time. So I'll just say hi to people as they come in. In 3 minutes, or 2 minutes now, I'll get started for real. I just got back from school. So in Nova Scotia, well, at least with my ward, we were all given a 1 hour appointment slot to go into school completely alone, except the custodian was there. And it was really sad. So we went in, we don't know what we're doing at all as far as distance teaching goes yet, but we were just told we had an hour to go in and take anything that we might possibly need to teach online. So it was really hard to know what to take because I didn't want to take, well, I only had an hour, first of all. My room's a disaster, and I didn't want to take things home that I wouldn't need and then have to bring them back later for hopefully not for school. But anyway, it was really sad, and I really hope we're going to get back to school before the end of the year because I really love my kids, and it was so sad to see their sneakers were still there, and a couple of them forgot their water bottles the last day before March break. Like we didn't know when we went on March break in Nova Scotia, we thought we would be back at school Monday, like yesterday, and nobody had any idea that we weren't going to be back. So it was really sad to just see everything how we left it the last day. Like a couple of pictures left on the back table, and I don't know, just there's no pants hanging up in the cubbies. It just made me really, really sad. But I'm home now. I didn't know what to take, so I just got some books to read aloud if we're going to be allowed to do that. I have no idea what we're going to be allowed to do. I got whiteboard markers because of a whiteboard back there that I could use maybe. My gummy bear stash. Um, a pack of Mr. Sketch markers. Like I really just had no idea what to take, and I didn't want to take a long time because the custodian was coming behind me to spray and sanitize behind me. So I didn't want to go all over my classroom either because that's no fun. But anyway, after today, when everybody's through in the school, it's going to be locked up and sealed, except for the custodian who will go in and do his checks once a week as he has to do. But otherwise, it's sealed up. As of right now, we're going back April 6th, but I don't know if that's really going to happen. But that's what the rules are. So it's 3 o'clock now. I can't see. Hang on. Facebook. Okay. Oh, I see lots of comments on Facebook now. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. I don't know why Facebook won't let me see all of them at a time. I can only see 4 of them at a time, but hi, if you're here, bonjour. I'm happy to see you live. I'm ready to get started. Today's video is about Zoom, and I did make a little slideshow. If you've seen any of my live videos before this, I like to have a little presentation slides to go through because otherwise I ramble for a really long time and I'm not super efficient. So I'm going to share my screen with you today. I'm using Zoom right now to do this video, so you'll see a little bit what you can do with Zoom if you want to use it for your classroom. So I'm going to share my screen right now, show you the presentation, and we're just going to get started right away. So, play. Okay, so today's video is all about Zoom. I made this presentation pretty quickly, so if you see any typos, don't judge me. And it's the same template that I use for the Be Your Best webinar, so if it looks familiar, that's why I'm all about keeping things simple. And just before we get started, I wanted to say a quick disclaimer because I've seen some questions in the group being what are you teaching? What are you allowed to do? Whatever. We are all here. We have almost we're just shy of 1,000 teachers. Last I looked, it was 995. So we're just shy of 1,000 teachers from all over the place. Don't worry if I'm showing something or talking about something that you're not allowed to do, don't do it. We're all over the country. We've all been told different things. Maybe you do have to teach via distance and you already know that. Maybe you're like me and you have no idea what's going to be asked of you. I'm just here this week to show you what exists out there so that when you know what you're allowed to do, if you're allowed to do video, you could use Zoom. If you're allowed to use Boom learning cards and send things to your students via distance, you'll know what to do. If you're allowed to use Google Classroom, you're going to know what to do. I'm just trying to help you feel more prepared just in case. But if you're not allowed to do this, don't do it. Listen to your union, listen to your board, listen to your province, do what's right for you and what's right for your students. This is just information for you just in case you need it. But always follow the directions from whoever. So my directions right now in Nova Scotia are don't answer any parent emails, which is like heartbreaking for me because I just want to tell them it's okay and tell them that I miss them. But I'm not allowed to answer any parent emails right now. I have to send them to my principal and he will answer. Don't send anything home. Like don't assign any work, nothing. Like keep my mouth shut basically. We're just waiting to hear. Our province is prioritizing grade 12s who are graduating this year. Then they're like kind of going on the line. So I think maternal is going to be the very last priority. So I'm just kind of doing what I can to help other teachers while I can, because if I have to jump in and start teaching online, I'm sure that's going to take a lot of my time. So I'm here now for you guys. Take what you want, leave the rest, but follow the directions from your union and your government as always. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about what Zoom is exactly, how I think it could work for distance learning for teachers, and then I'm gonna kind of take you through the program a little bit, show you how to set up an account, what you're gonna choose to use with your students, how to get started, how to invite them, and then how to share your screen like I'm doing right now, and then I'll just talk about a couple other little like features and options that you can use within Zoom. So again, when this is on, I can't see your comments at all. So I'm sorry if you're asking questions in the chat. I can't see them, but I'll go back and I'll try to see them at the end. So Zoom is like a web-based platform, I guess you would call it. The URL to access it is zoom.us. It's an online meeting and webinar hosting service, which you can use to stream live videos for your students using video or audio or both. Like right now I'm using both obviously, but as you'll see tomorrow with my Boom video, Lucy and Ashley, my two guests tomorrow, are not going to use their video. You're just gonna hear their voices. So I wanted to show an example of using video and just using audio in case you're not comfortable going on video. So tomorrow in that video, if you come live, you'll see what it looks like when somebody doesn't show their video. You just hear them. Your students can also participate live using video and or audio. That's not what we're doing right now. You guys can't hop on with your videos or your audio, but you can use it. You can use Zoom with your students so that you see them and you can hear them as well. So businesses have been using Zoom for a while to work remotely, like to have webinars, to have staff meetings or whatever virtually. But I think that it's going to be really helpful for teachers looking to connect with their students as well. You can use Zoom to deliver lessons, you can read stories, you can just like get in touch with your students and say hi and help them practice their communication oral. Whatever works for you, whatever you're comfortable with, you could use Zoom for that. So Zoom is not traditionally used with like teachers like us. It's generally for businesses, as I said, but they're trying really hard to support educators right now. I don't know if I can move my picture. I'm sorry if you can't see the title, but it says, how are they supporting educators right now? So they're trying hard to help us out, which I really appreciate. So on their website, if you go there and make an account, you'll see this like big banner that's like how we're helping with COVID-19. And if you click there, there's a section just for educators. So they have all these blog posts that you can read. There's like remote training for you if you want to learn more. Like if I don't tell you enough today, you can go on there. You can sign up for free online training. They're really trying to help us out. So I appreciate that. So if you want more information, that's where you can find it, right on the website. They have a whole section just for teachers. Oh no, oh no. Hang on, I have to go back to my, just a second. I touched something with my mouse, so it stopped working. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. So there's two things you can do with Zoom as well. It hosts meetings and it hosts webinars. So I just wanted to touch on the difference between those two so that you pick the right thing for your students. So for your students, especially if you teach a primary grade, you're probably going to want to use the meetings option. So meetings allow your students to really easily participate via video and audio, and it feels more like a classroom setting or like a meeting, in my opinion. And meetings are free, so that's a big bonus. But if you end up having to do like any kind of formal education or presentation, I mean, like in Alberta, I've heard you guys have to like help your parents learn how to teach, which sounds crazy difficult to me, but you might consider trying a webinar because this is a webinar right now. So it's just me talking. You guys can't interrupt me. You have to type in the chat for your questions and I can answer them at the end and I won't be interrupted as I'm going. And it's just kind of a more formal presentation. So if you do have to do any kind of formal presentation, webinar might be an option for you. Webinar is not free though. You have to pay a fee based on how many attendees you expect. Like that's why I said, oh, we're capped at 100 on Zoom. So if you have Facebook, please watch over there first. And yeah, so as I said, this is webinar mode right now. I'm presenting, and I can have other panelists join me, which you're gonna see tomorrow, and you're gonna see Thursday when Lucy and Ashley and Mariah come on. So if you have like a co-teacher, you could kind of teach together if you use the webinar mode. But again, you could probably just use the meeting mode, have your co-teacher join on with you and just unmute them. And I think the free version is probably better for us as a whole. And yeah, so you can type in the chat, as I said, but it's really hard for the person presenting to follow the chat and present at the same time. So your students or their parents would have to be patient with you until the end. So I'm gonna just go through now how to schedule a meeting if you do want to schedule a meeting with your students. So when you go to the site, you'll see this little bar at the top. My picture's there because I already have an account. So you would click the red, what's circled in red there, schedule a meeting, if you want to schedule it ahead of time. So with Zoom, there's two options. You can start a meeting right in the moment. You can like wake up at 9 a.m., well, 5 a.m. if you're me, because that's when Leo wakes up. But you can wake up in the morning and be like, okay, I want to start a meeting right now and do it right in the moment. Or you can schedule ahead of time if you know when you're going to go live. That's what I would suggest for your students, because they would have more opportunity to like be aware that you're going to be online at that time and plan ahead for it. So when you schedule a meeting, you just type in the topic. Like my topic for this one, I think is just like social distance challenge. Really simple. I don't put a description in for things that I'm inviting people to, because in my email invitation, I'll just say what it is. It seems redundant. And then you put in when it's going to be. So there's a calendar date. So you just pick the day and then the time that you're going to start and an estimated duration. So one question I had for Zoom when I first started using them is, are you going to kick me off if I go over an hour? They do not. So whatever time you put is just kind of an estimate. That's so that people can put it in their Google Calendar or whatever other calendar if they want to. It will just automatically block off that time for them if they say that they're attending. So don't panic. I've talked to their customer support a lot. I had a lot of questions when I started using Zoom, but they assured me nobody will get kicked out if you go over the time. It's just a guideline. And your time zone is there if you're confused about time zones like me. Next, there is, oh no, why is it going black? I'm sorry. I'll look it up again. Okay. Okay, so there's, oh, I missed one. Okay, so the recurring meeting there, if you know that you're going to be teaching at the same time every single day or every single Monday or like every Monday and Thursday, you can click the recurring meeting button and then you can, like it will just kind of be automatically set up for you. You don't have to set it up every single time. For the registration, I don't require registration. I've never chosen that one in my life because it's an extra step. So if registration is required, it sends out like an extra email to your parents. They have to like agree that they're going to come. It just seems like extra work for them. So I don't do that. The meeting ID, I just do automatically. And then for your students, I would choose require meeting password. For my webinars, I don't do that because again, that's an extra step for you guys. But since children are involved, I would highly suggest meeting password, require that. It will just email the password to your parents when you send them the invitation, and they have to type that in to join. And the reason why I suggest doing that is because if you don't do that, anybody who happens to find the URL or like type in the URL, or if one of your parents like shares it on their Facebook page, they're like, oh, Madam Andrew is going to be reading a story at this time. Here's where you can watch it. Anybody can come and join it if they have that URL. So there's been like, I've read an article the other day of like scary cases of people who are teaching online and then like really not nice people pop in and like show inappropriate things to kids. So just to be extra careful, I would require the meeting password, and then only people with the password can join your meeting. For the video, for the host, that's you. You will probably want your video on. If not, you can turn off. And then participants, that's up to you as well. If you want to see your students and you want them to be able to see each other, you will choose on. And if you don't want to see them, you don't want them to see each other, you'll choose off. For the audio, I always choose both because you never know, you might have students who have to join from a telephone, like they can call the phone number and join the meeting that way. So I just always choose both. And then for meeting options, I don't enable, actually that might be on the next slide. Okay, I don't enable join before host because that just means that they can click your link anytime and just like sit there and wait for you. I like to like come on first myself, like make sure my hair is as close to in place as it can get, take a deep breath, and then let everybody else in. So I like don't turn that one on. For your students, I would definitely mute them upon entry because you have no idea what they're going to be saying, what their parents are going to be saying. Could just be really awkward and embarrassing. So I would mute them upon entry, like click that box and check it. And then as they come in and they're ready to say hi, you can unmute them. I don't enable the waiting room. That's something I asked their customer service about. The waiting room is just like when they come in, it sends them to like one spot, and then when you start the meeting, it moves them to another spot. And like extra steps, I don't like this. So I keep it simple. We don't have any extra steps. I don't enable that. And then only authenticated users can join. They would have to have a Zoom account. I wouldn't expect all my parents to sign up for Zoom, so I would not click that one. That just means anyone can join from the URL that you send them. And if you want to record your meeting so that you can send the replay video to your students after, definitely check record the meeting automatically. There's another way you can record it during, but like I've never like successfully remembered to record it via the other button. So I would just suggest recording it automatically every single time. And then if you want to share the replay later, you at least have that option, because there's nothing you can do if you forget to record. It's just gone. Alternative hosts, you have to have a paid account to use those, and you have to have like a team. So that's for like businesses. Like if I had hired an assistant and she was gonna like co-host with me or whatever, she would be on my team and then she could host, but like that's not something that we would do. And then you can save. So after you've set that all up, you'll get this like join URL that you'll see across your screen there in blue letters at the top, and then a button that says copy the invitation. So it's really easy for you. You just click that copy the invitation button, and then you'll paste that in an email and send it to them, or like send it to them via Class Dojo or whatever kind of classroom community that you have. However you get a hold of your parents, like you just copy it, paste it, and go. The URL won't work for them until you start the meeting, so maybe mention that. Like if you click it right now, it's not going to work, but at the time when you start the meeting, it will work, and you do have to start the meeting manually. So you'll have to come back into your Zoom account, and when you log in, like you'll just see like a list of your meetings there, and you just click start this meeting, and it will start. But it will not start on its own, which is good because you don't want your webcam like coming on when you're not expecting it. So you have to go in and manually start it. I don't know why my thing keeps going black. I'm sorry about this. Okay, so the next one is starting a meeting like on the fly. So if you didn't, like if you find yourself with an extra half an hour one day and you're like, oh, I just want to read a story to my students right now. It's okay if they don't watch live, they can watch the replay later. You can start a meeting anytime. You don't have to set it up in advance. It's just nice for your families if you want them to attend that you set it up in advance so they have some notice. So to host a meeting, right away, you just go to that host a meeting button, and you're going to click with video on or with video off or whatever you want to do. And then you're going to open Zoom URS. That pops up for me automatically every single time. I've never had it not pop up. But if it doesn't pop up, you see those either of those two bottom red circles there, you would click on one of those to make it work. And then you'll join with your computer audio as long as it works. And after that, you go to the bottom, and that's a really nice picture of my neck. You're welcome. And then it says click to invite participants. So right now, because you just started it, nobody's invited. Nobody knows that you're having a meeting. You have to click there to invite them, and it will invite them right away. Sorry. So you can send it via like Gmail or Yahoo Mail. I wouldn't bother. I would just copy the URL or copy the invitation at the bottom, open my school email, and then like type in my maternal Madam Andrea class thing. It would populate all their emails, and then I would send it that way. And then whoever's available can join in. But if they're not available, it's okay because you can send them the replay later. But it's just a nice invitation. And so that's just a screenshot. So you would type their emails of your parents at the top, put your subject, and then the URL in there. So when your parents click the link, this is what they're going to see, the exact same thing that you saw. They have to click the open zoom.us thing for it to pop up, or launch it from the bottom, or download Zoom if they don't already have it. So once you get everybody in your meeting, you might want to share your screen like I'm sharing my screen right now. Okay. So that can be really helpful if you're like showing them how to do something. So like if you decide tomorrow that you love Boom learning after we do our Boom presentation and you want to give that a try, you might need to show them how to use Boom for the first time because they've never used it before in your class. So you can share your screen and show them exactly what to do step by step before they practice on their own at home. You could also share your screen to show a video clip, to show a PowerPoint like I'm doing right now, pictures, like whatever is on your desktop screen, they can see on their desktop screen when you share it. So to do that, once you're in the video, along the bottom bar of Zoom, which I assume you can see right now when you're watching me. Like if you hover near the bottom, there's a big black bar there where the chat is. Next to it, you'll see a green share button. So to share your screen, you just click that green share button, and then you're going to click on your desktop to share what's on your desktop. And that just shows what's there. Another feature that might be cool for your students is the whiteboard. So after you click the green share button, next to the desktop option is a whiteboard option, and you can share that, and that just shares like a big white screen just like this, and you guys can draw together, you can type together. That might be really cool if you do like écriture interactive. So like if you are writing a message du jour together, I could write bonjour because we haven't learned how to write that word as a class, but like we have learned how to write the word lait. So I could type bonjour and a space. I could pick a student that's attending and be like, okay, can you type in the word lait? They could type it in. I could ask another student to put a space. Somebody else could write on me. I could add the S because we haven't talked about that, and somebody else could add punctuation. So it's really cool for like écriture partagée if you wanted to do that with your students. The whiteboard feature would be cool. Might be a little learning curve, but if their parents are beside them during your lessons, I think that it would be doable. Sorry. Okay, I'm almost done. So the next thing that you could use is the chat box. So if your students or their parents have questions while you're teaching, they can just type in the chat box, and at the end you can go back and see. They can type them in real time. If you're doing a presentation like I'm doing right now, you're not going to be able to see them in real time, but you can go back to the end of the lesson and see them. Or you could ask a question to your students, and they or their parents could type in their answer into the chat box, and you could see that after. So that can be a useful tool. And one thing that I like with the chat box is people can decide if they want to respond to you privately, the teacher, or publicly for everybody to see. So you could let your parents know, okay, so their answer to this question is private, please just send it to me only. Or you could be like, this question, I want everybody to see everybody's answer, so like type in whatever you think. You can also use the Manage Participants button to stop or start any of your students' video cameras and or microphones. So that can be really helpful with kids because sometimes they might forget to mute their microphones themselves, and you might hear some things that are disruptive to your teaching. Kind of like real teaching life, I guess. If you leave them unmuted, it will be just like in the classroom when they're all interrupting you. But now you have the opportunity to not be interrupted if you so choose. So you can like just mute their microphones and then you won't hear them at all. You can teach interrupted, or you can like leave them on and have them talking if they want to. And they may have a learning curve to remember to unmute themselves when you do ask a question, but you can control that too. So if you ask a question to like one of your students and you see their lips moving, but you can't hear them, you can just unmute them yourself and be like, okay, can you repeat that please? So I think that would be helpful for us as teachers. If you want to record your meeting, but you forgot on the first screen where I showed you, you're going to need to hit the record button and the black bar along the bottom before you start. Like if you forget, there's nothing you can do. You have two chances. First chance is to record it ahead of time if you schedule. If you don't schedule it and you're just doing a spur of the moment meeting, you have to hit that black button on the bottom before you start, or you're going to lose your video. It will be lost forever and you can't share the replay with anybody. Learn that one the hard way. So here's the URL again if you want to sign up for Zoom. It's just like pulling your it's not an affiliate or anything like that. It's free to just host meetings. That's the URL right there. And I think my last slide is just, do you have any questions? Yep. So do you have any questions? I'm going to stop sharing and come back now to see if there's any questions. So I have a question in the Zoom chat, which I can see right now, just asking if they have to pay if they want to host a meeting. You do not have to pay to host a meeting. Meetings are free. It's just if you ever wanted to do a webinar that you would have to pay to add on that feature. And it's pretty, like, I think it's pricey. It's like $50 a month, which is expensive. Renee asked how Zoom is different than Google Meet. I have no idea. I've never used Google Meet. It maybe is the exact same thing. I don't know. So if it's, I don't, honestly, Renee, I'm so sorry. I've never tried Google Meet. So I don't know if it's probably the same. It's probably just another option. So yeah. Yes, Kelsey, tidy up my desktop. Yeah, today when I went to school, I did ask for a Chromebook because I was like, if I'm asked to be teaching via distance, via video, I'm gonna need another computer that's not my computer with my messy desktop on top. So if you're gonna use Zoom and you can get a device from your school, I would do that just to be safe, because you never know when you share your screen, like what you might have forgotten to accept. Sarah, I have not used Zoom with my students because we're not allowed to do anything yet, and I've never tried to like teach via distance before because this is a completely unprecedented pandemic that I was not expecting. So I'm not allowed to talk to my students at all yet. We're still waiting direction. So I have not used it with my students before, Sarah. Good question. So the recorded sessions, good, really good. So the recorded sessions stored somewhere on Zoom. You can choose to either store them in the cloud, which I don't really know what that means, but in the cloud, or you can save it straight to your desktop. So I always just save it straight to my desktop, and then I upload it to YouTube, or you can upload it to any kind of video thing. You can just put it in Google Drive even afterwards. But for you guys, when I put my replays, I upload them right into YouTube, and then you make it unlisted, so only people with the link can see it, and then that's how they watch the replay. Michelle asked how many people can attend a meeting. I think the limit is 100. I'm pretty sure, but that might be the webinar one. I think it's 100, Michelle, but I can double check on that one for you. Lauren asked if I know Slack. I have used Slack one time with one person when I set up my membership site. I didn't know what to do, so I paid somebody to set it up for me because I had no idea what I was doing. She used Slack, so I've only ever used Slack with that one particular person. How can you read a virtual book? So to read a virtual book with Zoom, you would have to have the book on your desktop. And then when you share your screen, your students would see what you see. Tomorrow, when we do the Boom presentation, you're going to see it's kind of going to be similar, but we're going to go through a Boom deck. I'm going to share my screen so that you see the deck and then go through it with me. So when you read a virtual book, it would be the same. But you could also just grab a storybook if you have any at home, or if you're allowed to get them from your classroom. You could just hold up a book and read it to your class. I don't know where the data is stored, Sarah. I'm sorry, but when I save it, it just goes to my desktop. So I don't think they save. If I don't save it in the cloud, I don't think that Zoom saves it at all. It just goes to straight to my computer. A Zoom session with multiple people is limited to 40 minutes. The free version. It might be true. I'm not sure, Stephanie. So you would maybe have to cut your lessons to under 40 minutes, but probably if you're teaching a primary grade, they wouldn't last that long anyway. I wouldn't go more than 10 to 20 minutes, and then I would stop, maybe come back later. But I wouldn't expect my students to go longer than 40 minutes. Sarah, so if you can have more than one account, I would guess you could if you had more than one email address, because that's how you just sign up with your email, and then if you had a different email address, you could probably sign up for another one. Okay, I can only see these 4 questions that are popped up right now that I've answered. If you have another question and I didn't answer it, pop it in now so that I can see it pop up. I've never used Buckaroo or heard of it, but I can write it down and look at it because I like to learn new things. You could definitely just post the URL to Seesaw. If your parents are in there, they could put the URL in there and it would take them. So BC would need to have permission from parents to use an online platform where data is stored in the USA. I honestly don't say, I think that they don't store the data, Sarah. I think if you choose to save it to your desktop, that's just where it goes and they don't keep it. But I'm not a tech pro, but I know that if you don't save it, it's just gone. There's no way to ever access your meeting again if you don't record it. But when I record it, it just downloads to my computer. But there's nowhere within Zoom that I can find it later. I can only find it on my computer. Okay, waiving the 40 minutes for teachers. Vanessa, that's great. Vanessa says there's a spot on their website you can request a longer session if you're a teacher, so that's awesome. When using the whiteboard, is there a way to control who is contributing other than verbally asking them? In case I just want to show them myself. So there is, I discovered actually this morning, there's a share button where you as the teacher, you decide who can have control of the mouse. So you can switch. So when your students sign in, they type their name. So you can be like, okay, Kim, you can control the mouse right now. And then Kim would do her answer. Okay, Vanessa, you can control the mouse right now. And she would do her answer, and then you can send it back to yourself. So you decide as the host who is in control of the mouse. Kim was wondering if she can see all her students and they just see her, or do they see everyone? Good question, Kim. Everyone sees everyone. So with meetings, everybody can see everybody. There's a couple of view options. So you can see them as a gallery all side by side. You might have seen some social media pictures of teachers teaching like that recently. I've seen a few pop up. Or you can have them all along. Stephanie wants to know, or Steph wants to know if I can repeat how to share the replay. So the replay downloads to my computer just as a video file. I have a YouTube account just for posting replays and posting videos for my membership, but I just sign into my YouTube account and then I upload the video to YouTube, and then when I upload it, there's like an option that says how to have your URL, and I have it unlisted, so it doesn't show up on my doesn't like show up. Like if you go to my YouTube page, you won't see it. You would have to have the direct link in order to see it. So I would send the direct link of the replay to my parents if they want to watch it later. Hopefully that's clear. You don't have to use YouTube either. You could use like Vimeo or other video things that I don't know about. I just always use YouTube. Okay, is that, if you have any other questions, let me know. Pop them in now. If I miss it earlier, type it in again. I'm sorry. I don't know why Facebook only lets me see 4 at a time. It's mean. But otherwise, and if you have questions later, like comment. I usually get a notification from Facebook when people comment. There's a lot of notifications this week, so if I miss yours, I'm sorry. But yeah, anytime you have questions, if I don't know the answer, I'll try to find them. But Zoom has a lot of resources for teachers too, like I showed in the beginning. So you can go to the Zoom page and like they have a bunch of blog posts just for teachers and some online training just for teachers. So that's really nice of them. The answers should be there to all of your questions. And their support team is great. I've used their support team a lot because I have a lot of questions. So they're used to me, but they're really good. Like it's just like a chat. You just type in your question and they answer you. When you record on Zoom, does it record all of the kids' faces too, or just your side? I'm pretty sure it records everybody. I'm trying to think of the meetings that I've done. Oh, that's a really good question, Lisa. I can't remember. Shoot, Lisa, I'm so sorry. Lisa asked if you record on Zoom, does it record all of the kids' faces too, or just your side? If anyone knows that has done it, can you let me know? Because I haven't done a meeting. Like I have done meetings, but I haven't watched the replays back since. Okay, it shows the whole thing, but you can select gallery view or turn off their camera. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Sarah. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, okay, so it looks like you can select gallery view so that you don't see them as much, or turn off their cameras. It will record the whole thing. Thank you, Sarah. So tomorrow I will be back with Lucy from Core French Immersion and Ashley from Madame R's Resources. We're talking all about Boom. We have 3 giveaway prizes, so you should come. And I'll send you a Boom, like I just made my first Boom deck. So hopefully it's gonna work. I feel like I have like it's up in Boom, but like I haven't published it because I'm like terrified that it's gonna be wrong. But I'm gonna send it to you tomorrow morning. If it doesn't work, let me know and I'll find a way to fix it. But it's my first Boom deck. I'm gonna send it to you tomorrow morning. Hopefully it's gonna work. Hopefully you guys will love it. And then another Sarah asked if students can see each other. If you turn on their videos, yes, they can see each other. All right, thank you guys for coming. I hope your challenge bingo sheets are going well. I will see you again tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. You're gonna be so tired of me. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll send you the replay tonight. It takes a while with my internet to get it up to YouTube. That does take a long time. So I will send you an email tonight after Leah goes to bed once everything is ready and you can watch the replay at your leisure or if you miss anything. All right, see you guys later.